All right, we are shifting gears only slightly from the gridiron to code. We've been talking about AI in action all day. Java has been a critical platform for cloud-native applications, so we're going to look also at how it will help with AI. And I'm joined now by George Saab, the Senior Vice President of Development of the Java platform, to talk about what's new and what's next. Thank you, as always, for joining me.
Thank you, Fritz. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
All right, well, congratulations on the release of Java 25 in September, was it?
That's right, mid-September.
Okay, and for the developers in our audience, what are some of the key themes and innovations in Java 25?
Yeah, so as you'll recall, we made a transition a few years ago after Java 9 to start doing releases every 6 months.
Yep.
So we're now on the 16th 6-month release. And the nice thing is, this means that there's more new stuff coming out and innovation being put in the hands of developers more frequently. So for this release in particular, there were 18 JDK enhancement proposals. This basically means a major feature that was added. But in addition to that, there were thousands of smaller improvements, fixes, enhancements. I mean, there's lots and lots of content there. And so, for the developers, this means they're getting new things in a number of different areas. One area that we focused on a lot is improving the language, so making the syntax better, more expressive, but also more accessible for people who are new to programming or to programming in Java. Secondly, we have a lot of improvements to the runtime, making performance better, making garbage collector, this kind of thing, and also improving scalability. Because the problems of today, we need to be able to bring to bear on the cloud in a distributed fashion. And so Java really is the best technology to help you with that. And then, finally, we had a very nice thing added from something called Project Leiden, which is working on making startup better, startup faster, and warm up, that is to say, until you're going at full speed, sort of reducing that time. And that's really good for things like microservices. So developers are really excited about this and are picking it up quickly.
Got it. Okay, that is a lot. So 16 releases since you started doing, that's
the 6-month releases.
You used to the pace by now.
Yeah, 8 years.
Okay, all right, good. And so what about for maybe non-technical folks? Java 25 is a version of that Oracle's offering long-term support for.
Correct.
Because of this.
That's right.
This increment in versions. What should business leaders know about this release?
So exactly as you say, when we moved to the faster releases, we realized developers wanted that, but businesses don't necessarily like change all the time.
Right.
They like some stability. They want to be secure. So it's really important that they're getting a regular cadence of fixes for security issues, sometimes improving stability and performance as well. And we actually do those updates 4 times a year and release simultaneously the fixes that affect different releases. And so basically every 2 years, we call one of those 6-month releases out for receiving long-term support. 25 is the newest one of these. So you're going to see years and years of support for this version that businesses can just rely on. It's great.
Yeah, and Java, there's a lot to Java. We've talked about it in the past, but I want to just have you briefly explain the difference between the Java language, the Java platform, and the Java ecosystem.
Yeah, as you say, there's a lot there, and Java is actually something that is very, very formally specified. So we have a specification for the language. That's to say, when I write Java code, what is it? What's the syntax? What is sort of legal to express, and how does it have to look? But we also have a spec for the Java virtual machine. And that is the thing that at runtime takes that Java code, you've already compiled it, and then it will actually produce native code for whatever platform you happen to be on. And this means that the promise of write once, run anywhere is truly there. Because your code is high level, and you don't even know necessarily when you've written it what cloud it's going to run on, what CPUs, maybe it's going to run on GPUs, and all of that is important.
Now, many of Oracle's customers have adopted a cloud-first approach, and they're embracing cloud-native development. How does Java 25 help them with that?
Well, interestingly, I think there are probably people who would have rolled their eyes if you had said this, 8 or 10 years ago. But a recent study by VDC showed that Java is #1 for cloud-native deployments. right? So, whatever cloud you're out there looking at, Java is one of the main things that people are using there. I think there are a lot of reasons for this. Having that flexibility of late binding on where you're going to run is one, but also Java has an unparalleled story for observability. And of course, when you're running in the cloud, you need to figure out what's happening, right? What's happening at runtime? If there are issues, how can you fix them? And Java gives you Java Flight Recorder, the Java Management Service, and other things that help with that.
What about for multi-cloud support?
Yeah, well, I think it's true there as well, right? Because when you're writing in Java, you're typically writing at a very high level, right? So you're not really sort of pinning things to one particular environment, right? It tends to be flexible, able to be moved around, et cetera.
Okay, let's jump to AI.
Okay.
How is Java 25 helping developers build AI capabilities into their software?
Great question. And of course, this is an area that's very interesting and important for us. When we think of AI, we really think of a few different things. So first of all, there's generative AI, like generating code suggestions. Secondly, there's large language model inference, so actually integrating it into your business applications in some way. And then, finally, there's sort of model training and deployment. And we're interested in all of these. We think that Java is great for Gen AI because of its type safety, because of the formal spec, and because there's such a massive ecosystem out there. There's tons of code to train models on. Okay, so when we look at inference, what about that? Well, it turns out there are a lot of the most popular frameworks out there, and libraries are really kind of embracing Java. So we see things like Spring AI. We see things like LangChain for J. We see things like Embabble for agentic AI, which is a brand new one. And also even Helidon from Oracle, has built-in capabilities for AI and MCP. And then, finally, we're looking at the lowest level. What can we do to make Java the ideal platform for model training and deployment? So here we've had, some projects that have been delivering in the past few releases, like Panama, basically improving the story of calling native code. That is doing kind of the same trick that Python does. But then we're also working on things that let you actually do everything directly in Java. We have Project Valhalla, which is really coming very close now to some things coming out of there, letting you have lots and lots of data in memory in Java, and using the things like garbage collection that helps with that. And finally, we have a project called Babylon, which I'm really excited about. This is basically letting you write your algorithms in Java, but then converting those to low-level code that can run natively on a distributed GPU farm or other place. So I think the promise of write once, run anywhere is going to apply there too, because as we've seen, we know what GPUs we have today. We don't know how they're going to look necessarily in 6 months or a year or 2 years, and we want to be prepared for that and not have to rewrite our Java workloads every time that happens.
Okay, well, we are out of time, unfortunately. Where can people go to learn more about not just Java 25, but come see you guys and talk to you?
You can come and see us in the booth. We have a number of talks that we've been giving and panels. And then one area I would recommend, there's dev.java, which is a site that's for Java developers by Java developers, including a playground where you can try out new things. And then the other thing I'd mention is our YouTube channel, which is fantastic and has great videos by the DevRel team on my site.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, George.
Absolutely. Thank you, Fritz.